Real deal or a scripted pantomime? Now's the time to find out, as both fighters have weighed in, and it's now time for Jake Paul to face Anthony Joshua. Hello guys, welcome to Dad in the Don Sports. My name's Phil, and today I'm going to bring you my prediction for the big fight between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. If you do enjoy this one, please remember to like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. So now that's out the way, let's get straight into it. And to be fair, my opinion on this when the fight was first announced was it's another pantomime show, but there's just that bit of me that feels AJ would not do that. Eddie Hearn probably would for the money, but still for face value, I don't think he'd do it either. So I think this will be a proper fight, and I'm going to base the prediction on it being a proper unscripted fight. So there's been quite a lot of noise so far saying if it goes more than a minute or more than a round, it's completely scripted and fake. I do get where they're coming from in that aspect, because you look at AJ when he won his first title against Charles Martin. He'd done a demolition job on him, and it was over very early in the second round and multiple times on the canvas. So I think if this was for a belt, say the WBC belt was on the line, I think he would just go out there and pulverise him within the first minute or two. But I can see why he wouldn't want to do that. It's embarrassing if he does lose to Jake Paul, so he might want to just get his range, feel him out, and work out exactly how he's going to finish the guy, because he's got a lot to lose. Jake Paul doesn't really have anything to lose. He gets his face caved in. He still comes back. He still made loads of money. He still gets to say he's gone in there with a two-time world champion. It's a win-win for Jake. AJ has everything to lose in this one. And you've also got to look at it, no matter what AJ says about how he's going to go in there and kill him, take his head off, whatever, there is a duty of care in here. So he is levels above Jake Paul. This fight probably shouldn't really be happening, but obviously for the money involved, it quite obviously has. So I think he'll feel a duty not to pummel him too badly, if that makes sense. I think he'll want to get the knockout, but the last thing he wants to do is cause serious damage to Jake Paul. I think he wants to shut him up. He's used his name for clout the whole time he's been doing this YouTube boxing and the Misfits scene. So I think there's a part of AJ that does want to just go in there and flatten him. But I think deep down, he's a professional athlete. He'll know there's a duty of care in there for him to not cause long-term damage to Jake in this one. But obviously, just touching on Jake Paul, although I'm not 100% a fan of what he's done, it has brought a lot of attention to boxing, a lot of money to some of these fighters. Do have to question the opponents he's been in there with. There are controversies around them being scripted, fake, etc. And to be honest with you, I don't know either way, but you look at, there's definitely been some hand-picked opponents in there. So he's fighting YouTubers, ex-basketball players, wrestlers, blown-out UFC guys that were not known necessarily for their striking ability. So he's always got an advantage. He's always got a leverage. He was going to fight Gervonta Davis, and he was going to be massively heavier than him. So there's always an advantage with Jake. Not saying they're scripted, not saying they're fake, but there's always some sort of thing going on in his favour. Even in this one, he's put the weight clause 245 pounds. So people are looking at thinking, oh, AJ might be drained from the weight, it might be in his favour. I don't think there's any chance of that going in Jake Paul's favour. If anything, it might be worse, because AJ might actually be quicker because of that. So him being heavier and slower could have been Jake's only option to win that, but by him coming down to like the lightest he's going to have been for about 5 years, could see him being faster, see him getting to Jake, closing him off quicker, and that could be an even quicker ending for Jake Paul with these stipulations. So in terms of what I think is going to actually happen in this fight, I think I would not be surprised if the first punch that AJ landed knocked him clean out. That's not an impossibility. I do think the first jab that lands, you're going to see a reaction from Jake. He's probably going to have never felt a punch that hard since he's been boxing. I do still think, like I touched upon earlier, AJ will want to feel him out. He'll want to show him he's got his power. He'll want to show him that he can sort of do whatever he wants to do in that fight, and sort of treat him like a rag doll and just throw him around the ring a bit. But I don't think he's going to knock him clean out in the first round. I will stick with my initial verdict that I did touch upon earlier of a second round knockout. Could go to a third round, But I think anything past that, it looks bad for AJ. Anything less than that, Jake Paul doesn't have any clout to sort of say, oh, I went this distance with two-time world champion. So I think if he gets flattened in the first round, he's got no clout. If it goes past into the third round, AJ starts to look a bit silly. So I think first round, sort of feed him out, show him up, knock him out in the second round. Won't really be many questions asked. Won't really damage anything to do with like legacy. AJ moves on to bigger and better things. Jake Paul gets to say he lasted longer than a round with Anthony Joshua. So there we have it, guys. That was my prediction for the big fight. Please let me know in the comments section if you agree or disagree with the verdict. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.